A new leader, a new era for India. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Hub. I'm Tanya Rivero, in for Sarah Murray on this Friday. India's opposition leader, Narendra Modi, is now Prime Minister-elect, delivering a crushing blow to the Indian National Congress, which has controlled India's government for most of its post-colonial history, by sweeping an election that saw 550 million votes cast. WSJ reporter William Mauldin joins us from our Washington Bureau to break down what this means for the U.S. William, great to see you.
Thanks so much for having me, Tanya.
So, William, quite an election, 5 weeks long, a record 500 million votes cast, and in the end, Modi emerges clearly on top. What do we know about Mr. Modi and his platform?
Well, to put it simply, he's a Hindu nationalist and he has a pro-business platform. What does that mean? Well, he obviously is supported by the biggest religious group in India, the Hindus, which are 80% of the population. He's not popular among the Muslim community, and in fact, when he was leading the state of Gujarat in India's north, there was a massacre of Muslims. Some have partially blamed him. He says he did everything he could to stop that massacre, but it has overshadowed a little bit of his political and diplomatic career, including straining his relations with the U.S. until now. On the pro-business side, business leaders in the U.S. and around the world applaud his credentials. They see him as a leader who can move India into the future, can make its economy grow faster like China's, and possibly shake up a little bit of the socialist-leaning tendencies that we've seen often under the Congress Party.
And speaking of his business leadership, what does this specifically mean for the U.S.? In what areas will we feel the impact most of his new administration?
Well, some of the areas that have complained the most loudly in the business community are pharmaceutical industry. They say that India hasn't observed patent protections and other areas of intellectual property. This also touches on Hollywood and Bollywood, which is the Indian version of a popular film studio. There's been some concern that films are counterfeited and distributed illegally. These are areas the U.S. Trade Representative has struggled with India in the past, and under a more pro-business leader, it's possible that U.S. business ties will get closer in this area. Also, if Mr. Modi takes steps to expand India's economy and infrastructure, this will have a great effect on U.S. companies and companies around the world seeking access to the billion consumers who live there.
And looking at India, what kind of political shift do you think this election is pointing to? They seem to be electing a, as you say, pro-business candidate with no ties to the party that has historically been governing India.
That's right. Well, the BJP briefly ruled India, and now it's returning. The big thing is that it's getting a majority of the seats. It looks like they're going to have a clear majority of the seats in Parliament. That's the first time this has happened in about 30 years. So a really big deal. What this represents is people have already shifted from poverty to a sustainable lifestyle, but now they want to join the middle class. They've seen this middle class through films, they've seen it on the news, they're increasingly seeing it through smartphones and friends and relatives who work in growing Indian industries in the cities. And everybody wants to be a part of this, especially the young. So you're seeing a shift towards an idea of promoting economic growth rather than the purely anti-poverty programs that you've seen in the Congress Party.
All right. Thank you, William Mauldin, for that.